Week 1 NFL season, it's here. We made it. Congratulations to all of us. We have gotten through it. Just in a couple of days, we will be having football season. I wanted to do the 10 things I'm most forward to looking at, looking for on week 1. So this is the week 1 storylines, really the 10 things I'm most interested in for week 1. Not the entire season, just week 1. Let's get into it, starting with number 10. Number 10 is just a game itself. I have a few of these on here. The Raiders versus the Chargers. I think this should be a very fascinating game with a lot of intrigue. These are two teams that, both played in the last game of the regular season, which, was such an amazing game. Literally came down to the last second of overtime. The Raiders won they were already in the playoffs at that point. Unless they lost that game, a tie would have gotten them in, but they won it. Chargers looking for revenge. The Raiders added Devontae Adams. The Chargers added a lot of talent, including J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack. These are two teams with a lot of expectations, and they're playing right away. This should be a great matchup. Number 9, how good are the Colts? This is really a question for me. They're playing the Texans, so maybe we won't get a great gauge of this just because, there's some intrigue with the Texans as well. And the reality is you never know week 1. We do all this work to try to figure this stuff out, see which team should be considered the best, but then it's, sometimes you just got to throw it out because who knows. But with the Colts, I think it's to me, what I'm very interested in is what kind of Matt Ryan are we going to see and what kind of Stephon Gilmore are we going to see? If those guys can both play at their best, this is a Super Bowl contending team, I think, but there still is the question there. So I'm very fascinated to see how that will work out. Number 8, how good are the Broncos? Again, kind of a similar idea where them and the Colts are similar in a sense, both horse teams, but also, both added quarterbacks. There's a lot of hype there. Russell Wilson's getting paid a ton of money now at this point. Although I actually, again, the roster is interesting to me. Looking at it on paper, it feels like they're kind of a complete roster with now a great quarterback. And it's kind of interesting to see how well will we see them play. I think it's going to be a very fascinating situation. What kind of Russell Wilson are we going to see? Because he was not fantastic towards the end of last season, but it was also coming off an injury. So my guess is he'll be good, but I'm fascinated in seeing what kind of Broncos team are we going to get here. Another how good are the blank team? It is the Browns now because, listen, Browns made a lot of headlines for the right football reasons and the wrong off-the-field reasons, adding Deshaun Watson. So, definitely helps their football team once he gets there. The question, there's the ethics argument, which we don't have to get into here. What I'm really fascinated, though, is without Watson, will this team be able to stay afloat? Will Jacoby Brissett come in and play decent? The Browns are actually underdogs against Carolina week 1. So I think that this week 1 could be a good test of, are they a real contender, or are they going to have to just wait until next season for Watson to, not be suspended and then go from there? And I think we could find this out week 1, which is why I have this a little bit more interested in this than maybe some of the other teams. Number 6, the first game of the season, Rams versus Bills. This should be a great game. A lot of intrigue with the Buffalo Bills of, a lot of people thought they could win the Super Bowl last year. They were great last year and came potentially 13 seconds away from at least playing in the AFC Championship game. Who knows what happens there, but they probably would have been favored in that game, or at least might have been favored. So had a real chance to win it all last year, playing a team that did win it all last year in the Rams. I think that these are two teams that are absolutely in the Super Bowl contention and at their best could be better than any of the other 30 teams in the league, which is just what makes it so fantastic. So I don't think we'll learn too much. I think we all know these are two very good teams. I think the question is more so for me, how good of a game will it be? Hopefully an awesome one. Number 5, how about Mahomes without Tyreek Hill? Mahomes has always had Tyreek Hill, and it's been a match made in heaven. It's a perfect marriage of those two, and how, Mahomes with this great deep ball, Tyreek Hill, a great deep threat receiver, that's gone now. And, regardless of how good you are as a quarterback, it's going to hurt you to lose a Tyreek Hill. Now, I think the Chiefs receiving core is actually a bit underrated, especially when you count Travis Kelce, who's a tight end, but he is basically a receiver. He runs routes all the time and is a very effective receiver, gets open very consistently. They added Sky Moore, who I think could be a candidate to get some stuff happening. So they have options here that I like with this Kansas City Chiefs team. I just think that with the, it's going to hurt to lose Tyreek Hill. And it's just an interesting question. How much is it going to hurt? Are they going to be okay? Is it going to be a learning curve? Potentially both, but I'm fascinated in seeing it, and we'll get to at least get a taste of it week 1. Number 4, how about the Eagles taking on the Detroit Lions? So these are two teams that, the Eagles were barely a playoff team last year. The Lions were the second worst team in football last year and were nearly the worst team in football last year, although they probably would have picked the same guy, first overall that they got second overall, so didn't care about that too much. But the reason why I'm fascinated is these are two teams that I think many feel got a lot better. The Eagles added A.J. Brown, and just with kind of, some of their young guys getting older, that's very fascinating. Also added Jordan Davis. So the Eagles have a lot of, hype surrounding them. I had them winning the division, so there's definitely hype there. And there's some people who think the Lions could be a dark horse playoff candidate potentially. I still think they're a year away, but I can see it, and you can talk yourself into it. And I'm fascinated in seeing, with these kind of newer and improved on paper rosters, how does it actually work on the field? Number 3, I have Rodgers with no receivers, which is a bit, maybe a bit harsh. Maybe when I was making my headlines, I could have wrote lack of great receiver talent or something like that. But, so for simplicity's sake, no receivers there. Let's just be honest. I talk about the, losing Tyreek Hill with the Chiefs. It's a much bigger deal losing Devontae Adams for the Packers because I think that they just don't have as much depth as the Chiefs do. The Chiefs added depth, including Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who also left Green Bay. Now, Green Bay added stuff as well. They added Sammy Watkins. They, went out and got Christian Watson. So there's talent on that roster. There's guys who can potentially play. The question is just, it's potentially. There's question marks surrounding them. You have a rookie who was very raw coming out of, I never know what to do with those North Dakota State guys. That's just always, I have no idea how to evaluate those guys. Not to say that I'm the best at evaluating anyways, but especially when it comes to receivers, who knows of this stuff. But, he has the talent, and I see why the DK Metcalf comparisons happen, because he is so talented, but there's just, there are some downsides to his game as well. So there's a question mark there. Allen Lazard should be fine, but you hope he's the number 3 guy, not the number 1 guy here. So the Packers, they have options, and I'm just interested in seeing how this works out. I still trust no matter who's there, Matt LaFleur will scheme guys up. They have a great running back room, and it's Aaron Rodgers, so I'm sure it'll be fine. But I'm just interested in seeing how that works. They'll be playing Minnesota, so it'll be fascinating. Number 2, second-year quarterbacks here. So, all the second-year quarterbacks. Trey Lance probably the most interesting to me because, he's the one that I think is on a team closest to contend right now. And, we didn't see much of him last year. So I think he's the most interesting. But, the Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, and Justin Fields trio of disappointing quarterbacks who we all argued and yelled and screamed about who's going to be the best out of those 3 and which one is better, and then none of them were great their rookie year. I'm interested in seeing which one of them will step up, because it seems logical that at least one of them will have a good year too, but who will it be, or will it be any of them? Maybe they'll all suck, I don't know. Mac Jones too, you can throw him in there, and Davis Mills, I suppose, if you want to, but I kind of think I know who those guys are. Mac Jones is good. I think Davis Mills, belongs in the NFL. I'm still not sold on him, but I guess, there's some intrigue there as well. Some people really like Davis Mills, so very fascinated in seeing, getting a little bit more of a taste of these guys. I don't know how much we'll learn week 1, but probably some stuff. However, the number 1 thing I am fascinated in week 1, my week 1 storyline, number 1, is Tua to Tyreek. A lot of T's there. I'm fascinated by this. I really am. I think that, I guess maybe the better way I should phrase it is just the new and improved Dolphins offense would probably be the better way to do it. But this is, again, the headline is the Tyreek Hill edition. Will he be able to, will Tua be able to hit Tyreek on deep shots? I think yes. Like, again, I kind of always talk about the arm strength tends to come into play on those, having zip over the middle, not so much down the field. He has the strength to get it down the field. If Tyreek Hill is getting open down the field, he will get the ball down the field. That's just what's going to happen. To me, it's more so about the over-the-middle stuff and things like that. And I just think that Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, a better offensive line. You added Teron Armstead. I still don't love the offensive line, but it is improved. Hard to get a lot worse than it was last year. I'm very fascinated in seeing how Tua does. So yeah, those are my top 10 storylines, but honestly, I could have done another 10 because there's so much fascinating stuff. It's football season, we're back, and I'm looking forward to, after week 1, realizing that I was wrong about everything and how we have to reevaluate, because that's how it always goes, but it's always interesting. So let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on all of this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are some storylines I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.